note this morning before we get into it. Medications. I have a friend, actually our marketing director, who is new to Emeritus Health, which is, where's it at? Yep, Emeritus Health, which is the parent company of Balance University, has a sister, and she fell and had to go to the hospital. And the reason being, her medications was ultimately ruled out. Now, you got to hear this story. These folks at the hospital, they're doing their fair share, right? They're doing their due diligence, CT scans, MRIs, x-rays, and then they wanted to do a spinal tap to see if there was any type of meningitis or any kind of issues that are affecting the brain. And that's when our marketing director, our friend, said, pump the brakes, hang on a second. So they backtracked. Remember our first session here. I told you guys, be your own advocate. Do not be afraid to be your own advocate, okay? Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's your right. So they backtracked and started going through several different things, got to the medications. What was happening is she was messing up or missing doses, double dosing her medication per doctor's orders, right? Most folks have many doctors that are prescribing many different medications, and there was a contraindication that was causing her to get dizzy, and she had a really bad fall. Now, according to the CDC, falls, we know this, are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries in older adults. In fact, 1 out of every 4 Americans, a quarter of Americans over the age of 65 will experience at least one fall every year. That's a lot. Now, when it comes to medications, what we call polypharmacy, right? When you have more than one medication that you're taking, you know, by definition is the concurrent use of several different medications, typically 3 or more by one person. So, what are the medications that causes falls? What are the main culprits, right? Let's just talk about a few of the main culprits. Well, you have anticoagulant drugs. You have drugs that treat peptic ulcers or gastroesophageal reflux disease, indigestion. You have high ceiling diuretics, right? Not like your Lasix, but your furosemide. NSAIDs, things like Advil can cause that. It can have a contraindication. Let me get down here to some of the bottom. And sedatives. Here's what I want to point out. Sedatives, opiates, opioids, and antidepressants. Right? And the reason I want to highlight these is because depression, we've talked about, is such an issue in the aging community. And we see a lot of our friends. No one sets out to be depressed, but as we get older, things tend to reflect. And depression is something that when you experience a fall, seems to go hand in hand with losing that ability to go out and be independent, enjoy those hobbies, that socialization. And it's a snowball. We've talked about that before, how when people fall, they don't want to go back into those environments. Maybe they're afraid or they're a little embarrassed. And so the lack of socialization also impacts the brain, as well as that lack of exercise. So what you want to be aware of is just talk to your doctor. The solution, talk to your doctor. Bring a list, speak to your doctor about what medications you're on. If you experience any type of lightheadedness, then I think that's a good indication that something's going on. Don't be afraid to ask questions either. I cannot empower you more. I cannot encourage you more than to tell you, do not be afraid to ask questions, okay? That's not rude. It's not, you're not questioning their integrity. You are protecting yourself and your loved ones, okay? All right. Now, let's get with it. Any questions there? Of course, all your sources are included. We had some good sources. I had a lot of things I didn't cover but are in your notes. It goes a little bit further into the medication. So I did include a list, you guys, so you can go in, and if you're on medications, have a friend or a loved one, you have something there to check it with if you would like. I included that on your email today, okay? All right, let's get going.